What if someone suddenly decided to drop down one day, do a set of 30 push-ups, and then kept doing 30 every day for a month? Not as a challenge, but simply out of curiosity. Imagine it like a small habit forming almost by accident. That tiny moment on the floor could ripple through the body in surprising ways. This is where Science Unleashed dives in, exploring the hidden effects, the science behind them, and the real changes that could unfold if a person stuck to that simple daily action. Today, we're looking at what might happen if someone casually did 30 push-ups a day for 30 days. Push-ups have been around for thousands of years. Ancient warriors used movements just like them to prepare for battle, long before gyms, coaches, or workout apps existed. Over time, push-ups stuck around because they worked for nearly everyone. Soldiers, athletes, and anyone trying to build strength without equipment. They became a universal exercise, partly because they're simple and partly because the body reacts to them quickly. It's funny to think that the same motion used centuries ago still shows up in modern fitness, surviving every trend. So here's something to think about. If such an old exercise still works so well, what does that say about the way our bodies are built? In the first few days, a person doing 30 daily push-ups would feel their chest, arms, and core wake up. Push-ups activate more than half of the chest muscles with every rep, and that effort hits fast. Mild soreness would likely show up, a sign of tiny muscle fibers breaking down and rebuilding stronger. The body treats this like new information, adjusting quickly even though the movement seems simple. By the middle of the first week, strength might begin creeping up by around 8 to 12%, thanks to quick neuromuscular improvements. In plain language, the brain and muscles start working together more smoothly. It's that odd moment when push-ups suddenly feel less clumsy. Sometimes people even start to feel proud, usually followed by sneaking a glance in the mirror to see if anything changed. Totally normal. Moving into days 6 through 10, form tends to improve. Breathing steadies, elbows tuck in better, and the core begins holding tighter. Studies show shoulder stability can increase slightly, around 6–10% from consistent upper body loading. Nothing dramatic, just enough to feel sturdier when lifting groceries or opening that one jar that refuses to cooperate every time. Of course, small downsides can appear. Without rest days, wrists might complain, especially if the person presses on hard floors. About a quarter of beginners mention wrist discomfort during the first couple weeks of regular push-ups. It's usually fixable with padding or small adjustments, but it's the body's way of reminding us it likes variety. By the second half of the journey, say days 11 through 16, endurance noticeably improves. Those 30 reps may start to feel more like a warm-up than a full effort. Research shows basic bodyweight work can boost stamina by 10 to 20% in just a few weeks. Posture may shift a bit too, as the push-up strengthens the stabilizing muscles around the spine and shoulders. Approaching days 17 through 22, the body might start showing small outward changes. The chest may appear slightly fuller, and the triceps a bit more defined. Nothing superhero level, but enough that a person might admire their arms while brushing their teeth. Again, no shame. We've all been there. By days 23 through 30, the overall strength increase can land around 15% for beginners. It's not enough to flip cars, but it's enough to feel noticeably stronger during everyday tasks. Core strength improves as well, since push-ups require steady bracing the entire time. Even mood can lift a little, thanks to better blood flow and the release of chemicals that support motivation. So what's the big picture here? Doing 30 push-ups a day, not as a challenge, but simply as a what if, could quietly shape someone's strength, posture, confidence, and stamina. It's not a dramatic transformation, but it's a meaningful one. Sometimes the smallest repeated actions lead to steady, satisfying progress. And hey, at least push-ups don't judge your form, unless the floor is silently laughing. Here's something to ponder. If such a tiny, easy-to-ignore habit could reshape the body this much, what other everyday actions might be hiding that kind of power? There's a clear message tucked inside this scenario. Consistency matters more than intensity. It shows that simple actions done regularly often beat complicated plans that never stick. It also reminds us that taking care of the body doesn't have to be extreme. Small habits can build strength, confidence, and discipline over time. When someone repeats something often enough, their brain stops seeing it as effort and starts seeing it as normal. which makes bigger goals feel reachable. Another takeaway is that progress doesn't have to look dramatic to matter. Quiet improvements still count. Feeling sturdier, breathing easier, or even standing a little straighter can influence the rest of a person's day in ways they don't expect. But here's the question that lingers. If this one simple movement can create steady change, what would happen if you added one more small habit to your life? This explanation is for educational purposes only. Anyone with pain, injuries, or health concerns should check with a professional before starting new physical routines. And since you stayed with us all the way through, thank you for being here. We'd love for you to see our other videos, explore more topics, share your favorites, and stick around to help Science Unleashed keep growing in the future.